Oh, hi, welcome back to No Parental Guidance. We've got the most amazing guest on the show today, Ronni Ancona.
My gosh, so excited.
Do you remember a Posh and Becks impression with Alistair McGowan?
Iconic. And we are so happy as well to say that this episode is being sponsored by Tesco, who's also supporting the National Thank a Teacher Day.
We've all got a teacher that's inspired us.
Of course.
And you can vote for your teacher as well.
Yeah, so if you go to nationalthankateacherday.co.uk, thank a teacher. We've all got a teacher that we love. And by doing that, you get an exclusive invitation to get 100 schools to enter to get £1,000 worth of
fresh fruit and veg for kids to help with their nutrition, concentration, everything at school. It's not to love?
It's a win-win.
Shall we get on with the episode?
Let's do it. Coming up,
please welcome Ronni Ancona.
Woo! Let's talk about EastEnders.
You've impersonated Peggy Mitchell.
Well, exactly.
My God.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
What was it like being an actress with young children?
I mean, there's a chaos involved in young kids.
Certainly is.
Never said this before, but I had a really difficult time in pregnancy. It's overwhelming being a mum, a new mum anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's absolutely overwhelming. I think everybody tends to go, teenage daughters. But I actually found the difficult time was when the hormones started kicking in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Joining us on the sofa today is an actress, comedian, impressionist and podcaster, and she's amazing. You'll know her from Alistair McGowan's Big Impression, where her legendary takes on everyone from Victoria Beckham to Nigella Lawson earned her a BAFTA and cemented her place in comedy history. And now she's back playing one of EastEnders' compelling new characters. Please welcome Ronni Ancona.
Woo! We are delighted to have you here. We were messaging each other on the train this morning.
Now.
Going,
Really?
we were like, we can't wait for this one.
Sure? I want to cry. That's so lovely.
You are so iconic.
Yes.
You don't realise. I've been
No.
obsessed with you since I've been younger.
I can't,
And
but
when you came in, everyone was like, "Oh my God, she's here!"
We were like,
when I came in, I should point out, when I literally came in like something the cat's dragged and going, hi, with my coat flung on the thing,
No, but
literally
you need to tell us a
myself.
story.
Yeah, you need to tell the
about
story of
Tell us
why.
what happened last night.
It was, yes, okay, girls, right, let's start with this one. So I am obviously, 102, and I basically, so I'm hanging on, my youngest is in sixth form. Right, my youngest in sixth form. But obviously I tell everybody she's in first year to make me so young and virile. But I'm in sixth form, but I went out on the mother of all school mothers' nights out last night.
Amen.
I mean, this sounds like it involved alcohol. Dancing on tables?
Well, the previous year that we'd gone out, just to give you some context of that, the previous year that we'd gone out, one of the mothers got so legless, and there was me literally having to sort of take her home, that since that episode, she's now on the wagon. She hasn't drank since.
Oh, really?
Is that out of embarrassment?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
well,
God.
pretty much. I think she went on for a couple, but it was a quite hard call. This year, look, we had a fantastic time. We went dancing at a club. One of the gorgeous mothers, very beautiful, literally lost some of her tooth. I again was there, the last one there, standing to get her home. She did not want to come home under any circumstance. I think it took several people. She doesn't remember not wanting to go home.
Oh, gosh.
Today she's like, hi, how are you? That was great, wasn't it? On
Is
the way
your-
to
is
the
your WhatsApp
So
chat pinging a
my
lot?
liver now has just literally, it's phoned organ line.
I mean, you've
and
got
is asking
a
to
tea
be,
and a
it's going,
coffee.
I've got an irresponsible host's body. I want to be adopted or fostered. Can you see to it? I'm not feeling very proud of myself and not feeling very
Well, you look
professional.
very
great.
glowing and
That's because
awake.
your lovely lady got some hot brush and wished
she's
me
good.
over
Bit
and
visual.
sprayed
She's
some
good.
We all
gloss
know
on
you
bit
do
of
look
me.
very,
vision.
you do
I
look very
think
fresh.
you
You've got good
do.
energy.
Yeah, you have.
Well, I'm relying on the energy. Anyway, it was great fun, and it's quite nice. I think the girls, there's a group of girls, and the mothers are very close, and I think the girls are sort of like that we go out together, but yet don't. Do you
Right.
know what I mean?
Yes.
I think there's a bit of kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, like you're going out, right? like you're old and you're going to enjoy yourself.
You're not old.
Yeah, like you're literally not
gold.
But we, yes.
How
So
old are your daughters?
I've got one daughter who's 21 and one who's 18 who's going through A-level hell.
Oh,
gosh.
no.
What's that like?
I'm walking on eggshells.
Really?
At all
Hence
times.
needing a big night out.
I'm just literally, I love her death. Of course I do, beyond life itself. But it's, and it's interesting. But I've got 2 girls.
Yeah.
Both came out of the womb with turbans and cigarette holders. I sort of gave birth to Lana Turner and Bette Davis, and they're both like, "Mummy, we have to talk. Please, this baby grow doesn't go with my mittens." And I'm like, what? I thought it would kick in. I knew girls would. I thought it would kick in later when they were older, but I love them so much. But they're very different.
Are they?
Oh, it's
and do they get on with
amazing.
each other?
They do get on incredibly well, actually, because the lovely thing is that they've got a shared sense of humour, which is fantastic.
Perfect.
But it is interesting, isn't it, that the sort of the same genetic.
Yeah.
Well,
Did they ever go
maybe
through?
it isn't the same genetic. I can't remember. Maybe
She was
that's
smashed on that
why.
night as
Yeah,
well.
right.
No,
Watch
it's
her.
terrible. I don't normally drink, viewers. I mean, not
No
not
judgment.
every
This is
hour.
No judgment at
Anyway,
all here.
but one of them is, well, we'll come on to that.
Do your kids do impressions as well?
No.
No.
They're horrified. What they do is my youngest does an impression of me doing impressions of other people.
Oh wow!
Which is not it's not incredibly complimentary.
Can we
Can
hear
you do
it?
it?
Can you,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, she does me. She goes, "I can do you doing Olivia Colman."
Oh, brilliant!
So then I like to think my Olivia Colman is better.
Yes.
So do remember that if anybody's listening in and go, "Well, that's rubbish," this is my daughter's impression.
Let's
of
do
me
your
doing
daughter's
it.
impression, and then let's do your impression.
So, and she does it like that,
Yeah.
Oh, and if it like that. That's her impression. Of course, Olivia Colman's a little bit more like that, a little bit more subtle. Only ever says things in 5 words, last word very quick.
Oh my god!
Yes, you should have her on. Or maybe you have.
No, we haven't.
I need some water.
I don't think we need to now. We've had Olivia on. Thank you very much, Olivia.
She does sort of, and she's sort of good at voices, which, is not a source of huge pride, really. I mean, it's a very useless skill.
Oh,
to
I
have.
think I wish that I could. I wish that I could do impressions. Hannah can.
But Han, can you
you
do
do-
impressions?
Yeah. Okay.
aside-
I'm settling
bet
in
you
now.
do
I feel like
much
I've got my own
better
private show
impressions
here.
than me.
Well, no. I've done a couple of sketches with Alistair McGowan before. Some impression sketches.
Have you?
Yes,
when
I
did you do
have.
that? I speak to him every day. He didn't tell me that.
I obviously wasn't that relevant then. Like during lockdown, we did some impersonation sketches together. I remember logging in being like, because I remember you both like
Yes.
back in the day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing like, this is crazy.
Oh
So
my
we
God,
yeah,
where did it go out? He's such a Luddite. He can't even switch his phone on.
Oh,
I'm
really?
so impressed that
Can
he
you,
actually...
will you do some impressions for
Yes.
us?
Who's your
Please.
favourite? Or should we guess?
Oh, gosh.
Who do you like doing the most?
Well, the thing is I've actually... It sounds awful. I sort of really did... was doing obviously impressions a lot, and I was sort of going out with Alistair before the show started, and then the show started and we split up just before the show started.
Oh,
so
God.
there
Oh,
was
how-
a,
like, how was that?
There was a
Oh, God,
free
was it
song,
orcs?
which I think, looking back,
Yeah.
in retrospect, I think probably gave it a certain energy.
Because you were
Shall I
together
say?
for years, weren't
I
you,
remember,
before?
yes. I mean, literally, we had a row once doing, terrible row. I was doing Joe Wiley and he was doing John Peel on the set of Glastonbury. And he literally, someone from the BBC came down and pulled us apart.
Really?
It was because we'd really disagree on material. So Alistair was very, and he's still like one of my dearest friends. Alistair was is very pedantic, and he's very sort of, I'm not going to say anal, that's not fair, but he's very pedantic. He's quite pun based. It's very exact. And I'm very surreal in my humour. So when it worked, it was quite I'm too far that way, left field, and he can be too far that way, do you know, literal. And so when it worked, we sort of, it was an amalgamation. We sort of came together, and that was quite magical. That was quite an interesting sort of dynamic. And of course, you know, we were playing, so it was usually about material, but there was a frisson, you know, because we'd had a huge, you know.
And how did you continue then? So you had this, well, you separated.
Yes.
But then you continued to work together.
Yes.
Am I right in saying that it was just his name?
For the first series, for the first two series.
Come on, the rage, there must have been
then you know, it was quite a sexist time.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very, it was very different then.
Yeah, I guess it was.
And did you feel aware of that as well, that it was very sexist and that it was his name on it when actually you were so heavily involved? Yeah.
I think that it was, I mean, I think in the context of the time, it was always
just
different.
accepted
but
it.
There was this thing in the writer's room, you know, you would sort of, and it wasn't Alistair's fault per se, but, you know, there would be sort of, you suddenly go, where's my sketch that I put in? And then someone, I remember, you know, I'd come up with the idea for the royal family, you know, which was the kind of, to reverse it back so that, you know, Caroline Aherne is just like the Camilla, and she's dressed as, you know, and she's going, oh, it's like the Queen of Norway. So I'd come up with this idea, and I thought it was really good. And then I sort of, a male writer went, oh, such a bad idea. And then I walked in as I heard him, when it got on, I heard him sort of passing it off as his, you know, you know, as that happened a lot, I think, predominantly, you know, on writers' rooms in the early 2000s, for sure.
But it wouldn't happen now.
For sure. No, I think it's just a totally, thank God, totally different world.
Yeah.
But I remember, you know, back at, and there was only kind of 4 women. There were about 4 of us on the circuit.
Yeah.
I remember coming vaguely high up on a poll for vaguely attractive, if they brush their hair, looking comics. And Joe Brand saying, I don't know why you're getting so excited, Ronni. Look at the competition. You know, because I'd got on this list, because there was only 4. There was very few.
This is brilliant.
It's like, thank God it's changed. Like, still work in progress. I mean, it's, you know, you go to a comedy night and you're like, oh, there's a female on the bill. Wow, okay.
It was very different, I think, because when you stood up as a female in the clubs then, you know, I think people subconsciously were trying to categorize you. You know, where are you? What are you doing here? If you didn't conform to one of their categories, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Then they wouldn't quite know how to react. But a bloke getting up was a neutral facade.
Yeah.
And they could like build on that. But I remember one gig, I had such a bad death. I ran out of the bill. I just ran out, and I got on a bus, just a bus. And I don't know where it was going.
Why was it so bad?
But it was so humiliating because this, you know, big football crowd were in,
my
gosh. And the MC was whipping them up and doing a whole load about Arsenal. And then I come out going, you know, surreal jokes and doing Marilyn Monroe and Jean Harlow. I mean, can you imagine if somebody shouted out anything at me? You know, I would just like stand like a rabbit in the headlights going,
and now you're a soap star.
Well,
let's talk about EastEnders.
Well, over the years, I don't know why, because clearly I'm adorable, as I hope you've picked up. But I only ever play mentally disturbed, alcoholic, heinously evil, femme fatale, never played a wife. My great friend, Sally Phillips, she gets cast as lovely wives, and me, never.
Really?
No.
Why is that
Never. You know, I was always like the Countess Kronstein with Steve Coogan and all these sort of things. Last Tango in Halifax, I played a drunk for 10 years. I think I had one scene sober. I seem to have a propensity to doing these characters, and they were very sweet. They actually contacted me and sort of said, we've got this really annoying estranged, just like dodgy cat, and it's got your name on it, Ronnie. I mean, it has to be. So that was really, really, I was very flattered, I think.
Especially being in EastEnders when you've like impersonated Peggy Mitchell.
Well, exactly.
My gosh.
Like, how weird is that?
The wonderful head of EastEnders, Ben Reid, he's amazing. He wanted to bring a bit more comedy into it, tragedy. We all wanted to do something with this sort of character who's really quite pathetic and sad and wants to be in the centre of things desperately, and really just wants to be loved, but just tries too hard. And what happens when they push too hard? They become dangerous when they're rejected,
Yeah.
And boy, girls, does she in a couple of weeks' time?
She's so excited.
Spirals. I can't give any details.
Oh my
but
gosh.
I know the beginning, the middle, and the end. Let's put it this way: it's quite something.
What do your kids think about you being on EastEnders?
Again, I say they haven't watched it.
What? They haven't watched.
But what is really weird and really meta is, of course, we used to impersonate all the EastEnders, and it used to be me on my knees because I am tall. I would just shuffle around behind the bar as Peggy Mitchell.
I love that.
As lovely Peggy.
Yeah.
And every year, every sort of week, Alistair and I would do intellectual EastEnders. So we'd have Peggy rowing about Dostoevsky. And
I love that.
Well, I'm sorry, he was essentially a bourgeois elitist. We'll have a word with you.
I mean, all sorts of stuff. And we'd also do the kind of, go out of it, go out of my pub. And I knew, darling Barbara, she was absolutely adorable. But we used to do like a bit like the Truman Show sketches.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where, they'd think that they were in the show forever. And someone come in and said, there's another channel called ITV and there's,
What are you talking about?
and who are those, why are those people always around us whispering?
They're the whisperers. They've never liked us and they never will.
They just stand in the corner. So we were deconstructing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
But from a very fond place.
Let's go back to your parenting early years. How did you? Well, first of all, what was it like being an actress, being a comedy actress with young children? Did they give you any inspiration and all the?
They never laughed at my jokes.
Oh.
I take them off the boob and I go, have you heard the one about? I mean, I was very unresponsive of them, and I listen to you a lot. I mean, there's a chaos involved in young kids.
Certainly is.
Isn't there? I mean, just extraordinary. And I've never said this before, but I had a really difficult time in pregnancy because I had very difficult birth, the first birth, for various different reasons, and then I'd lost a baby. I lost a second baby, so that was it. And then I had my lovely little girl and another little girl, and I got septicemia out of that. So,
oh my goodness!
But I was not blessed with children that liked to sleep much.
I think
And
that's a
I
hard
know
relate
at
for
the
all of
time
our
when
viewers.
I had babies, Gina Ford was very popular during that time.
Yes.
And there was and I did have friends who were doing the blackout curtains. It was like a wartime procedure.
God, I haven't heard that name in ages.
Yeah.
And
Gina
stick
Ford.
the baby in a black. Well, of course, me, old, hippie mother, sort of virtually, no, I can't put them down, my darling. All doing everything, sort of,
As they advise you
feeding
not to.
them.
That makes sense.
And then, of course, literally a rod for my own back, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I
not the only
should have
one.
put
You're
up
not the only one.
Oh,
I
we
did the
all
same
do
thing.
it.
But also, am I right in saying, and I could be wrong, but Gina Ford, she didn't have her own children.
No.
So she's giving advice
exactly.
without actually
The tug of the
really going
heartstring.
through
Yeah.
it. I find that really bizarre.
Yes.
When people say
Because-
about the sleep training and then they go, well, just leave the baby to cry. And it's like, well, A, I'm going to be lactating because I can hear the baby crying. So I'm going to be like a pressure washer. And then B, I don't want to leave my baby to
and
scream
your
because
hormones
it's
are going
like,
everywhere.
I don't want to do
You're-
like there's
yeah,
an element
you're-
of it of like rocking the cot when they're like grizzly, but not when it's like, well, just put them down and walk out, leave.
No,
I can't do
goes
that.
against my
It's
instinct.
everyone's personal preference.
I
isn't
tried
it?
doing Gina Ford, and for some people it worked. It did. I tried and it did not work at all. My eldest didn't sleep through until he was about 3.5. And again, thought I was failing at everything. And then when I found out that Gina Ford actually hasn't experienced it in real time with her own children, I was like, oh, sod this then,
100%.
I'll just do it my way. And, it
My
worked in the
darling
end.
youngest, she didn't go to sleep really until she was 12, I think, 13.
And did you co-sleep
Was
with
like
the kids?
that.
Or?
Yes, I think I did. I did everything in the, wrong way. But I was crazy. I was crazy obsessed. I did actually train initially as an artist. I went to St. Martin's Central, and I was slightly obsessed with doing things like fairy letters. But I wouldn't just do fairy letters. They'd leave a letter down somewhere, and then I would kind of write and design a very officious bureaucratic letter back to them.
Wow.
Like a council, fairy council. It's come to our attention that you have left this letter next to the field divide, and then I'd start this whole correspondence, and they come back going, Mummy, look, they don't like each
Oh
they
my
don't
gosh.
like each other. Then I'd send another one back.
I bet the mates
on
at school
leaves
are like, what
and
the fuck are you on about at
bake
home?
them. I know. I'm coming
think
across
this
like a
was
total
I was gonna
crazy
ask,
woman.
Do you
love
think
it.
this was like the start of like your ADHD journey, like finding out, because you got diagnosed later in life?
Yes, I
How
did.
How did you get diagnosed?
I have a very mixed feeling about it all with it. So my doctor husband, basically, who's quite old school and, has a feeling that we've got to be careful of over-diagnosing things.
Yeah.
Because I do think that, we tend to be we vacillate in this country, don't we? We go to one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
Either people are not being looked after or not being diagnosed with a lot of problems. And then everybody goes, and then suddenly I just think we've got to be careful that basic human emotions, and do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just because you find a frozen chicken breast in your handbags, ladies, and your door keys in the freezer section doesn't mean to say you're neurodiverse.
Have
It
you
doesn't
done
mean- No comment. Next question.
I wondered why you had a cooked chicken in your bag.
No question. I don't think something quite that bad, but almost. But I think we've got to be a bit careful as well, because there's so much diagnosis going on that
Yes.
it's also, people are disorganized sometimes, and they do have, a lot going on, and and sometimes I think that anyway.
What were your
there's a
signs
balance.
then?
But what happened to me was my husband went on a medical conference, and there was a psychiatrist. There was a couple of people speaking about ADHD, and he's all a little bit, oh no, and he rang up and went, yes, I think I know now. To me,
Really?
and then I think I had a bit of an intervention by a couple of other comics, who very sweetly said, Ronni, have you thought about just going to, I was like, what are you talking about? No, of course not. So I do go and see someone. And when I went to the, very good doctor, the secretary there said, no, if you think you're just going to come in and get a diagnosis like everybody wants these days, you've got to think again, because he doesn't just hand them out, and of course the secretary said it's kind of strange, because when she started, when you said to people, when patients came out and said there's nothing wrong with me, they'd be delighted. Now when people come out and they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, they're quite disappointed, and I came out with one of his a diagnosis.
Okay.
Of
And
ADHD.
when you got the diagnosis, was there a bit of like okay, that explains a lot
Do
then?
you know what, though, Lisa? I think I felt quite sad in a way, because I look back at all that massive people pleasing and masking and desperately and slightly imploding and being very self-destructive in a way, which I think had a sort of very detrimental effect on my career, for sure.
Really?
For sure. Yes, I do. I
In
I
what
look
way?
back. Well, I think that I think it I think the nerves, you know, all comics have got different styles of humor. And then when the panel show culture came in, it's, you know, they're very funny, and that, you know, I was delighted to do a lot of QI in the early days, but it all became quite a type, you know, a one-liner here, there. It's quite a sort of male type of humor. Yeah. I had a quite sort of just a different sense, and I think I couldn't. I don't know. I think it just had I just think I look back at certain things in my career, and I think that I definitely did not handle that well. I didn't do it right. I sort of, you know, it was self-destructive. And I look back and I think, oh, yes.
And are there elements of that you look back on as being a mum in the early days of having young children?
Yes.
And what would they be? What are those things?
100%. I do. I think that, you know, it's overwhelming being a mum, a new mum anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's absolutely overwhelming. And that sense of organisation and timing and having to focus. I was breastfeeding, you know, and I know it's a cliche, but trying to get a wash in.
Oh God!
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
While you're going, you know, and so I think when you've got ADHD and you're like here, there, and you know, but all I can say is a miracle. I didn't leave a baby on a car bonnet. I didn't leave one in a shop.
Yeah. We
so
have had
all
guests
in all,
who have
We
done
have
that.
had guests who've done that. Yeah.
but definitely, you know, the panic of, you know, because you just want to care for this little thing so much. And the panic of, oh no, I've left that there. And, you know, you've got your own AD, but you're living with your, but you know, as soon as somebody else is responsible.
No, of course.
And did you find parenting overwhelming for those reasons?
Yes.
What did you find hardest about parenting in the early stages?
I really, really did. And I think it was, I think as well, I think this is something that's, literally, I think my childhood, when I was a kid, you know, it was a long time ago, right? It's, if you say to somebody, look, the difference of a childhood between 1900 and 1940, everybody would go, well, yeah, that's huge. Or 1940 and 1980. You go, that's huge. But I think that somewhere along the line, because kind of middle-aged people are still wearing trainers and going to festivals and all this, that they think it's not a big gap.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think one of the differences is that when I was a kid, the parents weren't trying to be your friends as well. It didn't matter if, do you know what I mean? That wasn't their job.
Yeah.
There is, I think, more of a feeling that you want, you know, your child to be happy your friend, and not so much your friend, but you just want to keep them happy. Whereas the I don't think that came into it.
What's your parenting style? Are you quite strict?
I try to I definitely would say I want to give an incredibly secure foundation of love and as much wisdom as I can that I can. But I'm a bit over loving. You know, I'm a bit over touchy feely cuddly and stuff.
And if your daughters were here now, what would they say your parenting style's like?
I think they would. It depended how much pocket money I'd given them. If I got the right answer, I will resort to bribery
how
in these situations.
They were.
I think parenting is bribery.
That's all it is.
But I definitely try to want to be. I suppose there's an element of me that's quite old-fashioned. I'm quite old-fashioned in that you know, I've got friends who are far more, you know, lax with their kids, but I don't personally think that always gives a kid a sense of security. I know it's something that they feel they might want, but I'm not sure that's true. And I definitely wanted to be the mum who I know I always want to do family meals where people sit down and eat together. That's really important.
Every night.
Really important to me. And especially probably because I'm a bit ADHD, I wanted to put in a timetable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even when they were young, they always had a bath. They always, because I thought that was, do you know what I mean? I wanted to give them that security.
I'll be like, I used to have alarms set on my watch. So I was so strict with the routine. So like when I get home later, it'll be like 5 p.m. is going to be dinner. We all sit at the table together, because my youngest is 2. So 6 o'clock she goes for her bath, and then bath the boys.
That's a different level.
And I'm so like regimented with times, just because I like the routine, and the kids like
but
a
they
routine.
would like it too.
Yeah, they like it.
Yeah,
they know what's
kids
happening.
like a routine.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier to Hannah that the routine that I did have with my eldest, we've just got a bit more relaxed with our routine with him because he's reached a certain age.
Yes.
Like, can you remember, like, with your daughters?
100%.
Like, things suddenly change.
Of course they do. And I think everybody tends to go, teenage daughters. And there's an expectation that's going to kick in at 15, 12. But I actually found the difficult time was when the hormones started kicking in. So I thought 12 and 13 was...
and is that, do they start
pretty...
answering back, or is it they become independent? Or
I don't want to spoil the surprise for you.
Is it because they have their periods and stuff, don't they? Oh, God.
Yes,
God.
that'll wipe the smiles off your face. No, I'm very joking.
I have a bath time at 6
You know,
o'clock.
yeah,
no, she's like, you wait. Oh, you just wait.
And then you've got gap. You're going to have the whole gap year thing where they're going to go travelling. Funny enough, talking about impressions and travelling, once I was round at Ruby Wax's house, and her lovely boy, she's got lovely children, and one of them rang up while I was there.
Yeah.
And Ruby says, take the phone.
No, she didn't.
He was travelling. And I said, you got to come home. There's no money. There's been a terrible thing. Come home. He's like, Mom. It's quite funny, actually.
So
Please continue. What happened?
Was he really worried?
I couldn't keep it. He was abroad, and he was like...
So she's so... Oh, my God.
And I thought, this is so cruel. We mustn't
I bet
carry
she was,
it up.
I bet she was howling, was she?
Howling in the corner. Yes,
that's
a very long
brilliant.
time ago.
Oh, bless. Oh, my God. So let's go back
That sounds very cruel. I just like to point out to your viewers that it was made very clear that I wasn't his biological mother. And my impressions aren't that good.
They are brilliant.
They are brilliant.
But before you were an impressionist and a comedy actress, you were a teacher.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. I think you must have been the best teacher ever. It must have been so fun.
Did you used to throw your accent all the time, or impersonate the kids or the kids' parents?
I've got to be really honest. I mean, it's all laid out here. I used to teach at a very rough school.
Oh my goodness!
It was quite a school. Quite the school. It was kind of like, St. Trinian's on acid.
Wow.
Was it mixed? But a comprehensive version and just boys. So
was it just
again,
boys?
I'm offering you that.
Of course, yeah.
I raised the money to take them to Paris once. It took me so long to raise this money to take them to Paris, me and one other teacher. And it was absolutely hysterical. I mean, it was just the conversations that I had in the art galleries with them. It was so funny. I mean, I can't tell you.
Wow, I guess this is before
years
phones,
later,
right? So
years later, I did have one guy did come up to me somewhere, and it was at my, had my moment in the sun. I was quite sort of recognised all the time then, and I thought he was just, and he came up to me and he said, you took me on that art trip, Mr. Bat. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought it was a disaster. He said, no, it's taken me 17 years, but I've become an architect because you took me around the buildings.
No
I cried
way.
at
my
that.
gosh, that's incredible.
That is.
But it was a tough school. I was desperately fond of my pupils. But I mean, of course, I was art design and technology. So one day I said, let's have a music session. Bring in any music you want. And we'll put the tapes on while we're doing the painting. And then, right. And the tapes are, okay, tell you what, let's not do that this period.
Yeah.
Oh no! Did you ever have any students that were really grateful for you, or like thanked you later or at the time?
Well, I think yes, and in fact, I've been in touch with. I found this card when I was clearing out, and I must get in contact with him again. I found this card when I was clearing out, and I remember it very well. It was a boy who'd been very badly bullied, and and helped him as much as I really could. I was very, obsessed with sort of helping him. And when I left to become a sort of full-time comedian, I've always made things easy for myself. Why didn't I go into finance? Answer me that, girls.
Because you're too good.
But I found this card, and it was like, thank you so much. You've been a wonderful teacher and you've made all the difference, and a beautiful card. And I'd kept it, this handmade card. So I suddenly thought, gosh, he had so much potential, that boy. I wonder what he's doing now. And of course, that's the pros of digital. I sort of went on and I looked him up, and he'd become a amazing speaker and helping youth in the Black community. Amazing.
That's incredible.
What he's done.
And
I got in contact with him, and he said, it was lovely.
That's lovely. And this show is sponsored by Tesco, who are supporting National Thank a Teacher Day.
Oh,
so
amazing.
Hearing those stories is lovely, because that student would thank you. And so we're talking about teachers that inspired us, and
I think they're so important. Teachers.
Oh my God, so important.
I'm very passionate about it, and even if one teacher can change one child's life, it makes a huge difference. And we're all a bit in a bubble land, but some of these kids just have, they rely on their teachers.
They do.
And for security and for guidance, and
absolutely.
It's like you're educating the next generation in a way that parents can't, because it's having that one teacher that might say something like, oh, you could do this. And if your parents say it, you're not going to listen to them.
Did you have any teachers that inspired you along the way?
Yes, I did, actually. I did. I went to a comprehensive up in Scotland, and there was an amazing teacher, an English teacher actually, who was just different. She just, I think that the pupils certainly were very different in Scotland from in England. I remember watching Grange Hill and all my friends going, oh my God, they're so confident, aren't they? It was a different sort of, it was a little bit more, did you see, you're so cheeky, the way he said that. Of course, it was very strict in even state schools in Scotland. So this teacher that I met when I was at secondary school, she was just like very much more, you can do what you want, than there was a bit of a kind of parochial feel that this is what's going to happen to you all. Whereas she was a bit more sparky and said,
And she gave you that, you can do that.
Yeah,
if you want
I think
to
she
approach.
did. She was amazing, and just a bit more sort of arty and,
Yeah. We used to have teachers at school, and they would say to me, because I used to do impersonations of teachers, and I'd make up little sketches. So I'd stand at
like me.
So each week the teachers would say, so on a Tuesday I used to go on the local radio from the age of 9, and they'd say, do Fred Elliott impression next week, or Anthea Turner. So then I'd do that, and then the teachers would say, right, do your impressions on Friday in end of school assembly, and then can you just do an impersonation of, and say the teacher. But none of the teachers knew who it was going to be. And on a Friday we'd all have this assembly at 3:00, and then I'd come out with a wig on and a suit jacket, and then I'd be impersonating that teacher. And I think if my son did that, age 9, because he's 9, if he did that at school, I'd be like, don't do that, because you're going to piss off every teacher in that school. But they used to be like, Hannah, do an impression of the receptionist next week. And then I'd be like,
Brilliant.
I might not get any, the receptionist would give you an extra packet of crisps if you weren't feeling very well. They'd never do that, because I was such a little,
but that's that was probably the start of your
weirdness.
I was going to say you're doing your impressions and being on stage and wanting to perform.
Your impressions.
Oh,
we're going to have a little impression of. Maybe
we're going to have an impression of. But anyone watching, if you want to thank a teacher, go to thankateacher.co.uk, and you can thank any teacher you like.
So important.
It's so important, and they'll love it. You have until the 17th of June to enter, and any teacher that you recommend, they get entered into this exclusive invite where they could win up to £1,000 worth of
fresh fruit and veg
for the school, which is
It's
amazing.
so good.
Yeah, great
all through
nutrition all
Tesco.
around. Like the whole thing's amazing. What Tesco are doing.
And if I have
amazing.
destroyed your life through teaching you in the previous, please don't write in.
Please get in touch. Comment
Can I
below.
just say, I am so impressed with the professionalism of this show. I've done a spoof with Hal Crottington where we literally are two idiots trying to do a podcast 10 years too late. But not like this. But when we've got a Gen Z producer who hates us. And Alistair doing really, really good impressions of all the comics, which is his secret skill. He can do the most genius impressions of all the comics.
On that note, I think
it's time
are
for
you
you
all
to
warmed
do
up
your,
to do some impressions?
Oh my gosh.
No pressure.
I can't do, I'm not.
Should we let Hannah start?
She's going to be so much better than me.
No, I'm not. I feel
Shall we
like
guess what they are?
Okay.
Who they are?
I fail. Like I've totally smashed it.
God damn.
Oh my God, that's
brilliant.
Cheryl
So
Cole. That's Cheryl Cole.
Incredibly proud.
Right,
of my
that's
little
brilliant.
man.
Wow.
I couldn't do that.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm here
Oh my
celebrating
God,
Stacey
boss and my
Solomon.
gnomes.
Stacey Solomon.
Yes,
Have you
okay.
seen this phenomenal light? I hope you're doing these in your stand-up.
I've never seen Hannah
No.
do this.
Right, you ready for the next one?
This is like brand new
Who's
information.
this one? You might not get this one.
So good.
Sometimes people say to me, Sandy, why? Why did you leave Bake Off? And I say it's because of Paul Hollywood's souffle. That's why.
my-
There we go. I've said it.
Oh my
my
God,
God.
that's Sandy Toksvig.
Yes.
And she's really difficult to do. And once I was asked to do her
amazing.
while she was hosting on QI, and I totally lost it and I couldn't get it.
Welcome to the Wen Show, where today we've got loads of guests coming up.
that I know, that's
included one of my favourite friends, Kylie Jenner.
Oh, that's very good.
You know,
yes.
that lovely. Oh God, she's so
oh my
gorgeous.
God.
Oh, for goodness
Alex
sake.
Jones.
Alex Jones, right?
Alex
and then
Jones.
see if you get this one.
So sometimes people say to me, who do you think you are? And I say I'm from Newcastle. I love doing comedy and I love a bit of Newcastle.
Sarah Milligan.
Absolutely from Newcastle.
Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be
That's
talking
Lorraine
to those
Kelly.
Kylie.
I'll do a Lorraine Kelly off with you.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Oh
yours
my
will be
God,
better. Yours
Let's have a
will be
Lorraine
better.
Kelly off.
Welcome back. Yes, if you've just joined us, you've
Oh,
missed
that's
nothing.
so good.
Oh
You've
my
missed
God.
nothing. No, yes. She used to do a style. There used to be in the old days. Lorraine used to do that style makeover session.
yes, she
do you
did.
remember?
Yeah,
She was, now all morning, yes, we've Margaret's been with our style team, yes, so she has. Now, so just time to have a wee look at her. Come on out, Margaret. Oh, look at you. You look you know, we knew from the photo it's going to be hard. Yes, don't worry, you'll get a job soon, so you will. Yes,
You just become a different person. Like just then.
I do feel it. I used to feel that with people like Audrey Hepburn because I think it was so old-fashioned the way she spoke that it does change your whole.
Yeah. Can you do Victoria
Can't
Beckham?
tell you, my darling, because nobody knows what Audrey Hepburn sounds like.
Oh my God, that's
Tell you what,
incredible.
spend a day with you.
You know, what does she say? You know, tell you what, the gorgeous, you know, breakfast and
brilliant.
thing.
We'll spend the whole day doing things we've never done before. Of course, I can't think of anything I've never done. Can you?
I've got to put them all up on YouTube. I need someone. I need to do because I put some up and then I forgot about them, and before they sort of disappear into the dusty archives forever.
You should do, because I watched some on YouTube this morning, and I love your Victoria Beckham.
Yeah, can you do
Your-
that one?
it's-
Yeah. Oh, Victoria. Yeah. Well, I feel a bit embarrassed. Now, look, Victoria Beckham now is hugely successful, very brilliant, very rich. All of things I am not, by the way. So who's got the last laugh? And somebody said to me, I never did anything about her figure or her body or anything because, you know, I was very, and I like everybody. I do actually, but we were a bit naughty because we did make them out to be quite thick, which is clearly not true. You know what it's like when
But
you're
it was
a comic
right at
looking
the
Yeah, but it
for
was
a
that
joke.
persona.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
we had a gag and Alistair was playing Parkinson and we were playing Posh and Becks next to each other on the Parkinson
I watched
couch.
it this morning.
Did you see
so
that
good.
one?
So good.
And she said it was at the time of the alleged affair with Rebecca Luce. And, you know, Parky asked David about it. And then I had Victoria piping up with a big prosthetic going, can I just say, David, in front of all these people, that whatever you did or didn't do with that woman, this better not be hers.
I saw it this morning. It was brilliant.
That's bad, isn't it? Because obviously she's very intelligent.
Has
but
she ever got in touch with
you?
you?
know, the
or
thing
anything?
is with jokes, you are slightly.
You're always going to exaggerate it.
What's really interesting, at the time that we did a Posh and Becks special, which we did a sort of fake documentary of them as a special, and it got more viewers than their one ages ago. And then they said, they did actually say to us, a lot of people said, I've thought by that time, you know, with like with impressions, Hannah, it can end up being a caricature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You take it, it becomes your version.
Yeah.
And then you're suddenly, oh gosh, that doesn't actually sound like them at all.
Yeah.
Because you've entered into their new version. And I felt I'd taken Posh so far away that I thought, I've got to really bring her back.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of work to actually bring the voice back. And I was really proud of the voice I did for this particular special we did, or a particular sketch of their documentary. And everybody said, what have you done to Posh's voice? It doesn't sound like her anymore, because they were used to me doing the voice. So that's quite strange. They did ask us once to go to their party, and I was so excited. I was like, oh, Alistair, we've got to go. And he said, until we found out, I said, we've got to go. He said, we can't go, we're satirists, you know, we can't sort of, you know, do that. And then I found out that they wanted us to dress like them and take people's coats at the door.
Oh, I would still do it.
So would I.
I would still do that.
McGowan ruined that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, McGowan. What are you doing? Oh, I would have totally done that. Totally would.
I was like, how dare they ask you to do that? Yeah, I would have done it.
I suppose that's one way of reclaiming it. I mean, you know, some people sort of take to impressions. But when we first started that show, you know, people were like, what are you doing? How you know, they were. And then when it started to become successful, people would send their tapes, and agents would ring up and going, why aren't you doing this person or that person?
Well, exactly. It's always the way, isn't it?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh my God, what an amazing episode that was.
She was so good.
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So nostalgic.
I know.
And I love her teacher stories.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Like, every teacher that I know is incredible.
Insane.
They deserve a medal.
They deserve a thank you.
They do.
And this is where you can come in. Go to thankateacher.co.uk and you can thank your teacher, and that will give them a chance and their school to get £1,000 worth of Tesco fruit and veg.
Which is incredible for kids, for their nutrition, to be at school. Get involved and make sure you do it today.
You got until the 17th of June to get your thank yous in, but don't worry, the teachers and schools have got to the 1st of July to get their grants in.